Investigates like News 4. We've been serving up some eye-opening reports all week about local restaurant inspections. On tonight's menu, the third course.
A certain grading system is used to rate restaurants when it comes to food safety and cleanliness, but it's not used statewide. News 4 investigative reporter Luke Moretti is serving up some new information tonight in part 3 of Dicey Dining. Luke?
Yeah, you know, it's one thing to post restaurant inspections online, but it's another to actually issue grades and require establishments to post them where people can see them. As News 4 Investigates discovered, it's being done in places like New York City and Albany County.
Is it a safe place to go to eat? Are they abiding by the rules?
Take a good look at restaurants in New York City. They have letter grades posted where people can see them.
I don't know why they don't do that here. Like, it's a simple piece of paper.
And while New York City gives restaurants letter grades, Albany County rates them excellent, good, or fair. Here in Albany County, not only are restaurant inspections posted online where people can have access to them, but the restaurants themselves are now required to post the results where their patrons can see them.
I think that it's a nice thing to see. If restaurants have good compliance, I'll feel more comfortable in a place.
Marcia Lenahan of the Albany County Health Department says the rating system is based on the number and severity of violations found.
Excellent, good, and fair are very positive words, and I wanted it to be not necessarily negative, but positive for the restaurants. Not so that they're looking like they're great, because fair is not that good.
Joe Marino, who operates Betty Boop's Diner in Albany, says he knows all about the negative impact from a subpar inspection rating.
I got to live with fair when I had excellent before.
The restaurant received a fair rating following a September inspection. He says it cost him about $2,000 a week in business.
It was a hot day, and they come in, and they put the thermometer and everything's warm because of the heat. Now you're going to stick me with a fair compliance because it's too hot outside and the refrigeration's not working up to par?
According to Albany County health officials, Marino's restaurant was re-inspected weeks later and was upgraded from fair to good. Consider this, almost 4,000 people were stricken by foodborne illness statewide over the last 5 years, 40% of which were traced to food eaten in restaurants. State Assemblywoman Amy Paulin of Westchester County has been pushing for a letter grade system similar to what's happening in New York City. But she says the restaurant industry has been pushing back, as have county health departments, who warn they may not be able to meet demands by restaurants for re-inspections. For now, Paulin has settled for a bill that requires all county restaurant inspections to be posted online by next year.
We do believe that ultimately the system that they're using in New York City, which is the letter grade system, is the right way to go.
It's unnecessary, it's expensive, it's misleading, and frankly, it just doesn't work.
Daniel Garvey is vice chairman of the New York State Restaurant Association. We met up with him at the Roycroft Inn in East Aurora, where he works as the food and beverage director.
A restaurant could have a violation so egregious as vermin, rats, and they could still get an A. Or another restaurant could have a broken light bulb, a leaky faucet, and perhaps production dust, and they would get a B. So someone would look at that restaurant and say, well, they get a B and they get an A. You don't really know why they get these letter grades.
But Scott Ecker of the Niagara County Health Department says even non-critical blue violations, which involve cleanliness, could lead to a critical red violation.
If you have dirty conditions in your restaurant, it might help bring in rodents and insects and things like that. And then obviously, then you might have a contamination of food source. You know, so basically it could lead into that.
Erie County Health Commissioner Dr. Gail Burstein remains skeptical about letter grading. She says they can be deceptive and not give people enough information to decide where to eat.
The literature really suggests that there is really no change in the incidence of foodborne outbreaks and illnesses from eating at restaurants as a result of these restaurant grading systems.
But according to the New York City Health Department, the number of salmonella cases in the city were down 10% in 2012 from 2010, when restaurant grading went into effect. State Assemblywoman Amy Paulin says she'll continue to push for a statewide letter grade system, but knows it's going to take a little time.
I believe this is important to do. We need the right health and safety information for those places where we consume food.
And that makes sense to Lockport resident Carol Mayer.
I think it's a good idea. You do it with movies, let's do it with food. I think it's a good idea.
Well, the Amy Paulin bill calling for restaurant inspections to be posted online has passed both houses of the state legislature and is awaiting action by Governor Cuomo.
And there was some concern that maybe a grading system might cost the counties more to do that. Is that true?
We asked the people in Albany County that question. We wanted to know, and they said it really doesn't. It costs them money to have those posters printed up that they have to put in the windows out there that say excellent, good, and fair. But they say it's just part of the routine inspection process. They come back with the violations, they look at the formula, add it up, give it the rating. And that's that. So
they have to do it anyway.
They said it's not any more taxing than what they had done prior to that. So.
Okay. Well, you've opened a lot of eyes here. Thank you, Luke.
Okay.